Um, my dad had gotten home in 46 apparently from World War II, and I was born in 47, and so Louise is 7 years older than I am, and they moved when I was 8 months old into a brand new neighborhood. It had been constructed, intended for veterans who were coming back home and their new families. So it was a whole new neighborhood. There might have been an older home here or there, but it was generally new. And I was there until Dad and I married in 67, and we moved into a street called Farnham as a rental for 1 year. It was a duplex, and it was very nice, right off Woodward. And then the following year, we bought our house in Ferndale, and it was brick, and it had 2 fireplaces. And I was thrilled. We'd never had a fireplace growing up in any place. And so it was really nice to have 2 fireplaces there. One was in the basement, and then one was on the main floor. And we were there for 4 years until I became pregnant with you, and it was like, yeah, we need to get a better home, a bigger home.
This creature.
So we found the house in Royal Oak, and we bought there, right off of Woodward. You could see traffic on Woodward out of the back part of the house, which we loved. It was never a problem. There were trees there for many years while we lived there. We lived there for 45 years. So there were lots of trees, and we didn't hear the sound from traffic quite as much. But as time went by, some of the trees got sick. A house that had been behind us got torn down, and there was a parking lot put in, and so we could hear and see traffic.
There was a house back there?
Yeah, there'd been a house when we first moved in.
Oh, I don't know that. So, talk about when you were looking at the house, when you walked in.
Well, pregnant with you, sick as a dog. I'm walking up the steps, and I said to your dad, why do you show me these beautiful places that you know we can't afford? And then but by the time I got upstairs and walked into the bedrooms, it's like, this is our house.
I mean, why not?
This is our house, and it was perfect
why
for
wouldn't
us.
It be?
And we were there for the 45 years. And we were never sorry we were there. It was a good, solid neighborhood. There were lots of teachers around, so it was the same type of economic bracket, generally speaking. And we were good friends with neighbors. They were friendly. So we enjoyed Royal Oak immensely. And then when Dad got diagnosed in 2014 with prostate cancer, it changed the beginning of everything. So by 2016, he was in a wheelchair. At Christmas time, he was in a facility in a wheelchair, and I couldn't even bring him home to Royal Oak because not only were the doors not wide enough for a wheelchair to go through, he could not take one step without falling. So I was really in a bind to find a spot, and your dear brother, Dale, came over.
Again, this creature, this thing that I love with everything I am.
And he pulled up the computer the computer was in the kitchen, and he pulled up this particular condo, and he said, Mom, I think you ought to look at this. And he put it on, and by the time the picture got to the kitchen with this gorgeous long window, I said, that's it. So I made an appointment with a dear friend through church who was a realtor, and she made the appointment, and I came the next day. I beat her here, and it's just as I pulled in, our wall mate was backing out, and I rolled my window. It was cold. It was winter. It was just before Christmas, and I said, by any chance do you have a moment to answer a few questions? Oh, sure, because I'm looking at that house next to you. And she said, she answered everything in the way that I'd hoped, like, well, how much were the fees? They were very reasonable. And how long have you been here? Are they friendly? Is it safe? Are you glad you lived here? And as it turned out, she lived in Beverly Hills, where my office had been before she moved here. And she moved here because her husband was in a wheelchair.
Oh, wow.
And then he had died 2 years before we moved in. So we moved in 2017. And I was able to get him. I had to put him in a facility because we had no plans to sell our house, and I had to have the house inside repainted. We had to have an estate sale after I moved here, and I didn't want to take certain furniture that we had. I wanted to get out of the cherry wood stuff
Mm-hmm.
I wanted something that neutrally colored, and what I didn't want, I was able to find right here.
Including
Tyler, the
the
creator,
evergreen,
the estate sale
the
reference.
evergreen tree in the backyard, which is
And there's an oak tree directly out
which is
from
there,
the patio door.
which is right.
Which where?
Thank you. I appreciate that story. I
Tyler,
love
the
hearing
creator,
that. I
estate
love hearing
sale
it directly
reference.
from you.
So we moved here our 50th anniversary was that February, and we moved here very close to, I think February 7th is when we moved. Our anniversary was February 4th for 50 years.